So dear students, today we are going to discuss the topic differentiation of a vector function. We will have studied about the differentiation of a function. Similarly, we can find the differentiation of a vector function. Here f is given as a vector function of s. Then you know that the definition of this derivative definition, it is df by ds is defined as the limit delta s tends to 0 of delta f by delta s. Delta f is nothing but delta f, it is delta f is this one, f of s plus delta s minus f of s, and df by ds, it is this one, df by ds, that is equal to limit delta s tends to 0 of delta f by delta s. So that definition you already know. Then suppose we have to find the derivative of sum of two functions, then it will be d by ds of a plus b is equal to dA by ds plus dB by ds. Then d by ds of a dot b is equal to a dot dB by ds plus dA by ds dot b. Then the third result is d by ds of a cross b is equal to a cross dB by ds plus dA by ds cross b. In this case, the order is important. The order is important in this case. That is, you have to note the order in this case. That is d by ds of a cross b is equal to a cross dB by ds plus dA by ds cross b. Okay. Then next we can see the slope of a curve. As you have already, if suppose we are provided with the slope of a curve is given, then the function representing the curve is given as f is equal to f of x, then the slope of that curve will be equal to slope is equal to f of x is equal to df by dx. The slope of this curve, that is equal to df by dx, that you have to note in this case. Then another, suppose next we can see the case of continuity and differentiability of a function. A scalar function is continuous. A scalar function is said to be continuous at R if the condition is phi of r plus delta r is equal to phi of r for limit delta r tends to 0. This is the definition of a function to be continuous. That is, a function is continuous, a scalar function is continuous if it is satisfies this relation. And as an example, we can take the case of electrical potential due to a point charge, where the expression for potential is V is equal to Q divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 into R. That is, if we have a very small change in R, results a small change in V. If the point is continuously drifting away from, suppose R increases, then in that case the potential continuously decreases. So if phi of R plus delta R is equal to phi of R, then we can say that that scalar function is a continuous one. Similarly, if a vector function we have, a vector function f of r is said to be continuous if f of r plus delta r is equal to f of r for limit delta r tends to 0. As an example for that, we can take the case of electric field. Potential is an example for, you can see potential is an example for scalar function, and this electric field, you can see it is an example for a vector function. Electric field is an example for a vector function. Okay. Then electric field at any point is given by the expression f E of r is equal to Q by 4 pi epsilon 0 r square into r cap, where r cap is the direction of the field, and that is, it is all continuous functions will be differentiable. So the condition phi of r plus delta r will be equal to phi of r, then that function will be all continuous functions are differentiable. So if we are a function we have that is a continuous function, then that function is a differentiable one. This type, this you have in detail you have studied in your maths class. Then next is a scalar function or vector function is said to be differentiable of order n if it is differentiable of order n if the nth derivative exists. If nth derivative exists, it is said to be differentiable of the order n. In some case, first derivative will exist, second derivative will not. So it is differentiable of order 1, we can say that. As an example, you can see y is equal to half kx square. So dy by dx will be equal to kx. D square y by dx square is equal to k. D cube by y by dx cube is equal to 0. Here the function is differentiable for order 2. Third derivative onwards it becomes 0. Now we can see the case of a scalar field. A scalar field, it is the region of space containing the points about which the values of a scalar function are continuously distributed. As an example, we can take the case of electric charge, a region around a space surrounding an electric charge in which the potential varies from point to point, or can be a region of space surrounding a hot surface within which temperature varies from point to point. So, as an example for scalar field, you can take the case of a charge field distribution around, or we can consider the case of potential around a in electric charge. That is an example for a scalar field. And a vector field is an example for, it is the region of space containing points in which the values of a vector point function are continuously distributed. Vector field is vector, that is electric field due to an electric charge, which is varies from point to point both in magnitude and direction. In the case of potential, only the importance is given to the magnitude part. Or in the case of electric field, the importance is given to electric field due to an electric charge varies from point to point in both in magnitude and direction. So it is an example for a vector field. Now we can come to certain operator which comes in the vector calculus. The first one is the del operator. This is the notation. This notation you can read it as del operator. Okay. Del is a vector operator. It is important. Del is a vector operator. It acquires specific meaning only when it acts on a function. When it that is a vector operator. When it acts on a function, it attains a meaning. If delta is acting on a scalar function t, it is not. If delta is acting on a scalar function t, it is nothing but the instruction to differentiate that function. But suppose it is acting on a scalar function, we are differentiating it and we are getting a vector function. Grad t is the spatial derivative of t. So we can, in detail we can study about the del operator. The first one is gradient of a scalar function. It is represented as grad phi, and the symbol used is like this. The symbol is grad phi. You can write like this. This is grad phi. Okay. So then this is grad phi. Then gradient of a scalar function is defined as a vector. Gradient of a scalar function is a vector. That is important. Gradient of a scalar function is a vector. It represents both the magnitude and direction of the maximum space rate of change of that scalar function. So in order to find the maximum rate of change, you have to find the grad phi of that function. For example, suppose we have a scalar function y is given, which may represent the temperature distribution in a building, height of a mountain, or electric potential in a region. The magnitude of phi depends upon the position in space. The magnitude of that scalar function is position in space, that depends. That is, if the suppose it is the temperature distribution, that it depends upon the temperature at a point depends on the where the point is located. So next, then we can see it may change along certain direction but may remain constant over certain lines of surface. There will be some region of space where that potential or that temperature remains constant. That is so in the case of we call either in the case of temperature we call it isothermal. That is, in that case temperature remains or a constant. If phi and phi plus delta phi d phi are the magnitudes of scalar function over the two separate functions. Here two surfaces are shown. Below surface the value is 5, and above the surface the value is, this is 5, and here it is 5 plus d phi. Then d phi represents the change in phi depending upon the coordinate. Okay, then d phi is defined as, d phi you can now see this r is a function of, this is a function of x, y, z. So here this the total derivative d phi is the total derivative of phi, d phi is equal to dou phi by dou x into dx plus dou phi by dou y into dy plus dou phi by dou z into dz. That is the total derivative of that function. This phi is a function of x, y and z. This dou phi by dou x, dou phi by dou y and dou phi by dou z are the partial derivatives of phi along the respective directions, which physically mean the rate of change of phi along that directions. So I think you have already studied about these partial derivatives. If you have not studied, you may inform me, then I will give a brief description of that. It is not nothing but the derivative, the usual derivative, but in the partial derivative, suppose we are taking the partial derivative function, then all the function except that quantity with respect to which we are differentiating will be a constant. Suppose we are differentiating 3xy with respect to partial derivative of suppose phi is equal to 3xy, then partial derivative of that phi, dou phi by dou x, it is read as dou phi or di phi, dou phi by dou x or di phi by di x, then it will be 3x, then y is kept constant as a constant, 3 is also a constant, so 3y is kept as a constant, then the dou by dou x of x, so the result will be 3y only. Suppose we are differentiating the same function with respect to y, partially differentiating, then dou phi by dou y will be 3x is a constant, then y will be differential of y will be 1. So that is a case of partial differentiation. So the total derivative is equal to dou phi by dou x into dx plus dou phi by dou y into dy plus dou phi by dou z into dz. Then this dl, the usual length vector, you can mark like this. dl is equal to dxi plus dyj plus dzk. Then d phi I can write it as dou phi by dou x into I plus dou phi by dou y into j plus dou phi by dou z into k dot dxi plus dyj plus dzk. So the first part you can represent it as grad phi, then dot, second part you can represent it as dl. So d phi you can define it as d phi is equal to grad phi dot dl. d phi is equal to grad phi, where grad phi is defined as this grad phi is equal to d phi by dx into I plus dou phi by dou y into j plus dou phi by dou z into k. So this is the important result which you have to grad phi, that is equal to this is the derivation or definition of grad phi, I dou phi by dou x plus j dou phi by dou y plus k dou y by dou z, and d phi is defined as grad phi into dl into cos phi. So it is clear that d phi is the change in phi is maximum when the displacement vector is along the direction. So in this case cos can take maximum value of 1, and then d phi will be maximum when cos phi is cos alpha is 1. So the grad phi and dl are in the same direction. So grad phi gives the slope or rate of change of the function along this direction. So grad phi is defined as grad phi is equal to I dou phi by dou x plus j dou phi by dou y plus k dou phi by dou z. Then the grad, the representation of grad is defined as the, it is del operator is given by del is equal to I dou by dou x plus j dou by dou y plus k dou by dou z. This is the del operator. Okay. So this del operator, when it operates on a scalar function, usually del is operating on a scalar function. So it operates on this phi. So this phi you can mark phi, it operates on phi. So this becomes I dou phi by dou x plus j dou phi by dou y plus k dou phi by dou z. So here in this class we have studied a new operator which is called the del operator, or if it is operating on the phi, we can call it as grad phi or del phi we can call. So in the remaining class we can study this. Now if we as an example we can see the case of, if we stand in front of a hill which have different paths to climb up, then the direction of steepest ascent gives the direction of gradient, and slope along that direction gives the magnitude of the gradient, or in a room having heater that set up temperature distribution. So it will give the maximum rate of change. That is the meaning of that grad phi. Grad T points in the direction of maximum change in temperature, which equals the space rate of change of temperature in that direction. So grad phi, we have vector function is given, grad phi you evaluate, then grad phi gives the maximum rate of change of that scalar function. Now suppose we have all conservative forces can be obtained as the negative gradient of the respective potential. That is an important result. All conservative forces can be obtained. That is the one of the important property of the conservative force. All the conservative forces can be obtained as the negative gradient of a potential. Negative gradient of a potential of the respective potential. Negative gradient of the respective potential. So we can represent E. Any E you can represent it as the negative gradient of potential. E can be represented as the negative gradient of potential. E is equal to minus grad V, where E is the field and V is the potential. For any type of conservative force, the corresponding field and potential are related by this equation. If it is the electrostatic field, then it corresponds to the electrostatic potential. If E is given, then you can take E as the minus gradient of potential. So it will be equal to minus I dou V by dou x plus minus J dou V by dou y plus minus K dou V by dou z. So minus dou V by dou x will be equal to E. This vector E can be expressed as E is equal to this E is equal to so E you can write it as E is equal to EXI plus etc. EYJ plus etc. So comparing the coefficients you will get EX is equal to this one. EX is equal to minus dou V by dou x, EY is equal to minus dou V by dou z, and EZ is equal to minus dou V by dou z. Therefore, E is equal to EXI plus EYJ plus EZK. In terms of the general vector R, we can write like this. In terms of the general vector, the form will be like this, that is E is equal to minus dV dou V by dou R. E is equal to minus del V or dou V by dou R, where R is Xi plus Yj plus Zk. Using this you can find, suppose we are provided with the scalar potential, you can find out the corresponding field, or if you are provided with the electric field, you can find out the corresponding potential. As an example, you can see, find the intensity of electric field acting at a point where the potential is given by V is equal to KQ by R. So E will be equal to minus dou by dou R of V. So minus dou by dou R of KQ by R into R cap. So here this is a vector. So here you have to note grad vector minus dou V by dou R ആണ്. So it will be equal to minus KQ is a constant. Then differential of 1 by R with respect to R is minus 1 by R square. So it will be KQ divided by R square. So നമ്മളിപ്പോൾ ഈ ഒരു ടൈപ്പ് പൊട്ടൻഷ്യൽ ഈ ഫീൽഡ് കാണുന്നത് നമ്മൾ ചാർജിൻ്റെ കേസിലാണ്. ചാർജ് ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് പ്രൊപ്പോർഷണൽ ടു 1 by R square ആണ്. പൊട്ടൻഷ്യൽ ഈസ് പ്രൊപ്പോർഷണൽ ടു 1 by R ആണ്. അപ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് usually from this expression if it you can check whether the given force is a conservative force or not by using this equation. In the case of conservative force, the corresponding field is equal to negative gradient of potential. E is equal to minus grad V. Okay.